back for another episode, and we've got the man behind the Good Dad Gang himself, and I think he might have been our first guest on
Yeah,
this
he was
podcast.
definitely early.
Yep, Termanology. What up, man?
My brothers K,
Term, what
ESPN, what's up,
up?
guys?
What's
What's
going
going
on,
on,
brother?
man?
Oh man, it's been a crazy couple weeks, but I'm good, man.
All
Grinding,
right.
the work don't stop.
So first, and we don't necessarily have to touch on this, but I do want to pay respects to you and your family for your loss. I know
Yeah,
you're
condolences, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
so
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to touch on that at all, and if not, all good. I know that's can be a kind of a raw subject.
yeah. No, I don't mind. This is Fatherhood's podcast. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta talk about fathers, and mine was a great man. His name was Domingo Carrillo. Um, he was 61 years of age when he passed away last week. Um, Dude was a legend. You know, a lot of people know him. He built hundreds of lowriders and hot rods and muscle cars. And his work, will live forever. I had so many people come up to me at the funeral and say, "Hey, I knew your dad for so long, and he was a great man. He dedicated his life to his work, and he built, 5 cars for me, 10 cars for me, 13 cars for me, whatever, my car, my wife's car." So his work, man, it just, it speaks for itself. And kind of crazy, like going through something like this. I've never been in charge of like burying somebody. I've had uncles
Mm.
die, cousins, but it's never been like thrown on me where they're like, "Hey, you got to bury this guy. You're the one who has to find the funeral home. You're the one who has to, figure out the bread. You got to, see what his wishes were. You got to divvy up his property. You have to do the obituary. You have to invite people, his family. Make sure everybody feels like they're included. Make sure there's a picture of everybody from the cousin to the grandma to this side of the family. So there's so much that comes with burying somebody, and you have to also deal with it yourself. You have to. Me and my dad were really close, so you got to deal with it too, man. So it was quite a crazy thing. Yesterday was his mercy meal, and the day before was his services. So it's been kind of crazy, but I'm just thankful that I had a good relationship with him. It was a rocky one. It started out pretty horrible when I was a kid, and then he redeemed himself, and we ended up getting really cool. When I became a man and I understood what it was to be a man and what it is to be a father, and the pressures and all that stuff, man. So shout out to my father, Domingo Carrillo. You're gonna be dearly missed.
Hey, talk about really quick, if you can, the redeeming factor of your father, because imagine someone listening and watching that probably didn't do good in the beginning of, when they had a kid, and maybe are thinking like, I want to get back in my kid's life. Like, well, how did he redeem himself to you?
You can do it, man. You can do it. And I find with the Good Dad Gang, I meet a lot of people, and they say to me things like, "Oh, my baby mom don't let me see the kid, or the court don't let me see the kid, so I haven't seen my kid in 2 years or 5 years or 3 years." And I'm like, "Yo, I get that. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's also on you to make sure you got to try your hardest to fix that. Because sometimes you just leave it up to your court, or leave it up to the BM, or leave it up to whoever. And then essentially it becomes your fault. You know what I'm saying? Because if you gave up, then you gave up. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that they don't make it hard on us. I'm not saying that every case isn't different, because every case is different. But essentially, bro, if you keep trying and you keep fighting, if it's that thing there, if that's what's holding you back, you probably be able to figure it out. As far as my dad, that wasn't his issue. My father's issue was he was just a real old school guy. Like, he came up, he had 7 brothers. His father was real militant. One brother did something, they all got smacked up for it. That's what it was. It's not this era. So he grew up, his thing was, you act up, you get smacked up. So he was quick to smack the shit out of you. Um, he was real rough with his word. He was raw. He was working 12 hours a day. I grew up, with my mother, in poverty, pretty much in a building full of crackheads in a crack house, growing up like really messed up, and he wasn't there. So when my mom and her sisters and the cousins and the family and everybody saying, "Oh, your dad's a piece of shit. Look where he left you. Look how he left you guys. And he doesn't give no money to your mom. And why are you here? And he's over there." So you grow up hating your dad for all these reasons. For them, when I turned about 15, I told him, like, "Yo, why'd you leave us like that? Why? You know what I was going through, as a kid, and when you were around, you were mean to me, you were hitting me, you were, talking down on me and talking down on my mom and this, that, and the third. And he had a whole different perspective. His perspective was, what do you mean? I sent money every week. I seen you every week. Like, in his mind, that was enough. That was more than enough.
Right.
And I get it, because some people never even meet their dad. So I get it. He might have looked at it like that, but like later, he just got cooler. Like, he wasn't yelling at people. He wasn't trying to smack nobody. We got to know him like the funny version of him. He was a real responsible person. He'll drop anything he's doing to come help you. If your car broke down on the side of the road, he's coming to fix it. Whatever the case, you needed a ride somewhere, you needed some advice, or you needed to move at the drop of a dime, he'll come move your house. So I'm recently learning about love languages and people's love languages. He only had one, and it was acts of service. You know what I'm saying? All he knew how to do was fix your toilet, fix your house, help you move, maybe lend you a couple of dollars if he had it, fix your car. That was it. He didn't know how to say, I love you. He didn't know how to pat you on the back and say, good game, son, I'm proud of you. He didn't know your birthday. He probably wouldn't remember your birthday. He didn't, so it's like a lot of times we expect what we expect to see, like, oh, my brother, my friend, father treats him like that. Hey, son, I love you, son. Good job. He's there at all the basketball games. He's there at the football game. You expect your dad to do that. You're comparing. Or you expect your dad to act like your mother. Your mother tells you every day, I love you, proud of you. Your father doesn't say it at all. Instead, he's like, hurry up. What are you doing? Fix yourself. So it's like, you gotta learn that everybody's gonna love you in a different way. Doesn't mean you have to accept people abusing you or treating you bad. But I just feel like, once I got 20 and once I became a man and had a kid, I started understanding what it was, that you were the one that was in charge of this whole house. You came home and nobody had food. It was your fault. You came home and the rent wasn't paid. It was your fault. So when I started understanding that, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, he spent his life trying to do what he thought was the right thing, which was just putting food on the table and paying the rent. All that other emotional shit didn't matter to him. And but when he got older, he was way cooler. Always calling me, hey, where's my granddaughter? Bring my granddaughter. I want to bring her to go get ice cream. I want to bring her to the water park. I want to go to the lake. He kind of opened up and just became like more cool. And yeah, like I said, he was able to redeem himself, because we really didn't have any problems for the last, 10, 15 years of his life. It was more just the resentment for going through what I went through as a kid.
Yeah, that's thank you for sharing that, man, because I think a lot of us go through a lot of that same stuff with, the older generation parents and that relationship that we have. You mentioned love languages, and you said you kind of started recently picking up on that. Is that based on the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman?
It is based on it, but basically it's been brought to my attention by several different people. And people keep bringing it up and say, hey, what's your love languages? They keep asking me and asking people around me. So then I started realizing, I'm like, oh, okay, there's a reason why I feel the need for people to say they love me. Or there's a reason why I feel the need that, like, if I go, do something, work my ass off for 12 days, painting your house for you for free, and when I'm done, you don't say thank you. There's a reason why I'm holding it in my heart. I'm so tight, because I just wanted the words of affirmation. I just wanted you to say, yo, thank you. I understood that what you just did, you sacrificed your time for me. You busted your ass. Like, I didn't know why I was taking things so personally. And I didn't know why I was kind of like craving certain things. And then I started realizing, like, oh, okay, everybody loves differently. And yeah, and my dad didn't really have any. The only thing he really would do for you was kind of like that one thing. Like, he would do an act of service for you, and that was it. And so he got older, and then it was like, oh, I love you. He's saying I love you to the kids and the grandkids. And I think we soften up as men when we get older, too.
Yeah, it's crazy how age can mellow people out.
It's hormonal at that point.
Yeah.
We start to lose our testosterone. That's what it is.
It's our menopause.
Yeah,
that's why they say old men start getting into plants and shit.
Yeah, he's coming with the greatest answers, man. This guy, like, we'll be all talking about, like, drunk facts, and he'll bust out with some real like philosophical, scientifical answers. Real talk though. I feel you. It must be because I'm softer too. I mean, when you're 20, you're running around with a bunch of thugs and guns and acting stupid. And now, I'm pushing 40, and all I want to do is relax and chill and hang with my kids. And I don't want to be involved in no dumb shit.
Yeah.
So it's still, I think the last time you were here, and it was mad long ago. I think that was like episode 7 when
I think he was our first guest.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then you 2 daughters.
I got 2 daughters. One is 18 and one is 10.
Yeah.
And no more kids since the last time we saw you.
Oh no, the factory is closed, my guy.
and so
Manny's disappointed.
nah, I don't know. Life happens, bro. Shit be happening.
I just feel like, as a person who already traveled the world, I've been to 50 countries. I know what's out there. I'm not local. I don't want to sit in the house raising another baby. I put in my bid.
Right.
I did that already. And shout out to my 2 baby moms, because they put in all that work when I was on those world tours, and I was gone for 30 days, and I'm going to China and Japan and Bangkok and Sweden and Switzerland and all these places. And Spain, I'm in Spain for 10 days doing 8 shows back to back to back. Somebody had to bring these kids to school every day, do the homework with them, get them up, get them dressed, reprimand them, feed them, all that type of stuff. So that's kind of where I started really understanding what my dad was like trying to say. He's like, yo, I'm not around, but I'm sending that bread back, and I love you, but I'm not around. So it's much different with me. Even when I lived in New York, I would travel back to Boston every Sunday to see my kids. I wouldn't miss a Sunday, where my dad would go like 6 months without seeing me. So I'll never compare myself to him, because I'm a much better father. But I feel like the reason why I'm such a good father is because he was such a terrible father. So he showed me everything not to do. In my opinion,
You spending time with your daughters today, what does that look like?
All the time. I mean, I have the little one. She stays over my house like once a week, sometimes twice a week. So I'll bring her to school, get her ready. She has her own clothes over here. She has her own regimen over here. My older daughter's 18. So yesterday I called her, yo, you want to make some money and work for me? Come over here. I got $50 for you. Mm-hmm. She'll come drive over here, do a couple things. I'll give her $50 and I love you, Dad. And she's on her way. She's 18. She want to chill with me. She wants to chill with me. I understand that, but
hey, how does that feel, like that change from like when they really love hanging with you and that's you're their world, to all of a sudden they in some cases they're not so cool to their parents anymore, but in other cases they are still cool, but they they want to go do other, like how does that feel to you in terms of like, did you initially feel hurt by it at all? Because I would say there's gotta be a feeling like that.
You're looking at somebody and you're like, I love you more than anything on this world, and you don't even want to chill with me. It hurts. Like, even though they don't mean it like that, you know what I'm saying? It's the same way that we were when we were 14, 15, 16, 17. We wanted to go listen to hip hop. We wanted to go to house parties. We wanted to go grab the mic and get on the open mic or DJ or do graffiti or breakdance. The last thing we were trying to do on a Friday night was sit around listening to old stories from our mom and dad about some stuff we didn't care about, and watch some stupid movie we didn't care about. But all our friends is over here getting fresh and expressing themselves and doing what they want to do. Now they got social media. So now you can sit there and watch everybody having the best time ever while you're sitting here on the couch talking to your dad about some stuff. They don't care about hip hop. I have 40 crates of vinyl and 3,000 CDs. If they ever want to know about hip hop, I could tell them everything there is to know about hip hop from the beginning of hip hop to now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hip hop head for real, aficionado. Like, I got a whole bookshelf full of books on hip hop. I got every Source magazine from 1995 until they stopped making them. Like, I know hip hop, and they don't care, bro. They don't. I'm like, you know what it is? They don't care. Sometimes, they'll hear a song and they'll be like, oh, I like that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But this is not their thing, So I'm saying that they're not interested in what I'm interested in. So I gotta find out what they're interested in and just kind of like let them be them.
Yo, on a brighter note, let's talk about the Good Dad Gang and your collab. Let's plug that a little bit.
Yeah, so for Father's Day, we did the Good Dad Gang sneaker. I got it right here, holding my hand, the Patrick Ewing sneaker, and really excited about this collab because you know, to my knowledge, there's never really been a sneaker for fathers. It's the first fatherhood sneaker. And, you know, I started Good Dad Gang in 2014. Definitely helped spawn a lot of movements. I go on social media now. There's hundreds of dad movements. There's like 20 of them that rip off mine. Same
Same
logo.
logo. Yeah, I've seen
Same
that.
Oh
logo.
wow.
Shit,
Yeah,
that's
Good,
yeah,
good,
fucked up.
good
yeah.
dad company, good dad,
Mm.
the dad gang, good dad corporation, good dad movement. I mean, you
Wow.
listen, bro. It's crazy uh, the amount of like people that just kind of stole my idea and ran with it. But that doesn't really matter because the point was to motivate dads to be good dads. That was the whole point of this, right?
Right.
So my plan worked, and it's cool, man. Like it's cool. Like I'm happy. I'm happy that this generation and over the last 8 years, I've helped so many people. Like my homies used to come home from jail and be like, "Oh, I want to see my kid, but I just came home and I can't because I don't know because she might not let me see, and I don't got a phone and I don't got a car," making every excuse in the book. And I'll be like, "Bro, figure that out right now." You know what I'm saying? You're gonna figure out how you're gonna hang out with a shorty tonight or go to a party or get you some weed. Figure it out, bro. Like, and I talk to them straightforward. And like you see, like a month from then later, they'd be like in the park back with their kids. Good dad, and they see me like, "Yo, thank you, you changed my life." I hear it every day. I hear it all the time. So like it really worked. And you know, just like the core values of what Good Dad Gang was supposed to be, we far exceeded it. This is our 8th year. We're doing our 8th backpack giveaway. Last year we gave away 800 backpacks. This year we're going to give away 1,000. We started doing the toy drive. Now we're linking up with different companies like Diamond. I saw, you know, EFN rock the Diamond shirt on Drink Champs. I appreciate that. We had the Good Dad Gangstar collaboration with DJ Premier. That went really far. We had a commercial where we had Ice-T, we had LL Cool J, 2 Chainz, The Locks,
Yeah, I
all these
remember that. Yep.
participating. You know, and it's not easy to get those guys to do a free commercial for you. You know, luckily I had DJ Premier to make the call, and people respect him enough that, you know, it was nothing for them to just send in the drops and Primo to make the beat and put together that. But it's cool, man, that some people in some powerful places have really like taken the Good Dad Gang and taken the brand like a liking to it and pushed it for me. People like Primo, recently Dustin Poirier from UFC, wore the sneaker on Father's Day, took pictures with his kids on Father's Day. Jamie Foxx was making beats in the studio, wearing the hat and wearing the shirt and shouting it out on his gram. So it's like, you just really never know how far it can go, these type of things. And I feel like it's been 8 years, but I feel like we're finally getting where we want to be. So, you know, shout out to the sneaker. We only made 500 pairs. We already sold 400 and something. They're almost sold out, but you can still get, I believe, select sizes on EwingAthletics.com. You can check them out. This is a leather Croc Lux sneaker. Good Dad Gang, and it's flat, man. If you like sneakers, if you're a sneakerhead, icy bottom, Good Dad Gang on the laces, Good Dad Gang on the inside, and we make a matching shirt that goes with it.
Nice. That's dope, man.
Congrats, bro. That's not easy work, and for being able to stick with it for so long, seeing the fruits of your labor is pretty. I gotta imagine it's pretty dope.
Thank you. It's an everyday thing running a company. This is a real company. It's a corporation. So
that's actually a great point, because I think some people might get it twisted and just feel like it's like an Instagram page and that's it.
Yeah, it's not that. I wish it was that easy. Right. But my dedication to my companies is what, you know, makes me who I am. Like, I got 44 albums out, you know, like if you check my discography, if you count all my original mixtapes and EPs, I started in 2003. We're in 2022. Over 19 years, I've put out 44 projects, different albums with MOP, collabos with Static and Primo and all these people. Been to 50 countries. I mean, when I like something, when I'm dedicated to it, I go all out. And recently, my love and my dedication has went to the Good Dad Gang movement. You know, a little bit more than hip hop. As much as I love hip hop, but I'm still doing it. I'm still rapping every day. I'm doing shows now that the pandemic's over. I'm doing collabos and features and all that stuff.
Well, it's still hip hop though.
It is.
What you're doing is still hip hop.
Yeah. But I mean, I spent a lot of time on the fatherhood aspect, you know, on pushing Good Dad Gang versus just in the booth. Like, clearly, if you know terminology, you know I know how to rap. Like, I've been doing that forever. But yeah, I spent a lot of time on it, and we're not done, you know. I want to take it to a new level. I'm in the middle of writing a book. I'm almost done a book, a Good Dad Gang book. After that, we want to do a documentary series where we interview different fathers, from people in the community to celebrities, all that stuff. So, I got a vision board for Good Dad Gang and where I want to see us over the next 3 years.
How's the vision board work for you? We've talked about this before.
Yeah, so the vision board is great. I started my first one in 2019. I did 20 goals. One side was for ST Records. The other side was for Good Dad Gang. And then 2020, I did one side personal. Then I did one side business. And then 2021, same. And so now, we're in 2022. So what I do is I keep them, and I don't throw them away. I just go to Staples and buy a new one, because I never want to forget or lose sight of how far I came. And I also don't want to miss out. Like in the 2019 one, it was 20 goals and I was able to scratch out 17. So 3 of them I wasn't able to get. It still bothers me. I still want those. I still want those 3. So sometimes I carry them over, like, all right, bro, you really, really wanted to do this and you didn't do it. So carry it over. And then sometimes I give up and say, hey, maybe that wasn't such a great idea. Maybe that's why it didn't happen. But
sometimes it doesn't happen in the time frame though that you think is going to happen.
Right.
You're just putting it out in the universe, and the universe sometimes will give you that, but it's going to take, it's going to be a different time frame.
Agreed. Yeah. Even the Ewing, it took 4 years, right around the time that Capone and Noriega had their Ewing, was around the time that they started doing a lot of collabos with different artists like EPMD, Capone and Noriega. They had a Cormega shoe. They had a AZ shoe.
We did the Drink Champs one.
The Drink
we did
Champs
2 with them, yeah.
So the Drink Champs actually really motivated me a lot, because when I went to the Drink Champs, the one where y'all had the locks, the one where y'all got me really drunk in like 5 minutes with the Tiger Bone, when I was there, the guy from 8 and 9 was in the back, and he was like, he had a bunch of pair of Ewings, so he gave me one. And when he gave it to me, I was just looking at it, and I had already liked Ewings, but just having it in my hand and looking at it, I'm like, man, this is a really fly shoe. And then, like I said, watching CNN do it, watching Drink Champs do it, EPMD, then so many other people, it just kind of gave me an idea, like, yo, maybe they'll be down to do a collab with Good Dad Gang. So when I tried the first time, they kind of were like, we weren't big enough as a brand, so they kind of just like ignored the pitch. And then like once the stuff started happening with Diamond, and we were proving that we can make a lot of money in a short amount of time, and that we're a real brand, we're not going nowhere. It wasn't just like something thirsty, like, oh, yo, I'm just trying to thirst off you, leech off you. Like, yo, listen, we can bring something to the table. We have a huge movement too. Once we were able to show them that, and we had the meeting in person, we sold it right away. They were like, oh yeah, this is a great idea. We'll do this. We'll do it for 2022. So
Nice.
what people don't know is it's a long process. It takes almost 2 years. Now you got to design it. Then it say you got to go to China. It comes a year all the way to come back from China. Then we're dealing with a pandemic. So the materials slowed down, and there's like all that work that goes into it just for that one day when you drop it and you're like, here it is. And it's like, people just kind of feel crazy. Like, there it is. Yeah. It's like, it takes 4 years. Like your friend said, like, it takes a long time to materialize, and sometimes it's not on your terms, but I don't give up, and I keep it pushing and I keep trying, and some things ain't meant to be either. I've had like major stuff happen for me, and then like, I think it's going to happen and it don't happen. And I'm like, all right, you got to chalk that up to be that wasn't meant to be.
Has your oldest ever seen your boards, or she ever asked about it, or have you ever,
or are they doing
told her to consider doing that?
Yeah, no, she so this year when I did mine, I did one for her and one for my little daughter, and I let them fill the boards out themselves. And my oldest daughter left the board here. She don't even look at it. She don't care about it. And my little daughter, I think she's a little too little to really like kind of care, but I went to her mother's house. She spends more time at her mom's. I went to her mother's house and put the board over there at her mother's house, so she could stare at it every day when she wake up. And for me, I have mine in my bedroom right above my bed. I have both of them. There's 2 big ones right above my bed right now. So when I wake up, I have to see them. Like when I wake up, say a prayer, check the phone, there's 500 messages. You're looking over there and you're saying, okay, I was supposed to do this. I got to master this album. I got to finish this. I got to call this person. I got to email them. It's right there, and that's how I stay on track. Because without the vision board, I mean, we get so distracted so easily. And especially when you got a little bit of notoriety, it's easy to get opportunities. Every single day I wake up and somebody's like, hey, you want to come rap at this show? You want to fly over here? You want to come do this, that, and the third? And you'll get thrown off easily. So I keep the vision boards like right in my bedroom, so that way when I wake up, I see them.
I don't think you're still not on the vision board thing, right? You were never on board.
No, I've done them in the past.
Hey,
but
you
more
ain't
of-
shit.
Yeah, right. Basically, I fucked up.
Yeah,
I
No,
felt like me and Manny were with it, and Kate wasn't with it.
No, I've done it. I've never done it regularly. Like I've had one in the past where it was more visual, like pictures, as opposed to
Yeah.
writing things down.
I've heard of that.
But then I also have things that I just keep stuck in my head of like, all right, I want to see something. I want to see whatever it is happen. And so it's almost like I have the thought in my head that just doesn't go away until something goes down. But I'm down with vision boards. I haven't done like how you're describing it.
Yeah,
I might give that a try though.
I'm gonna show you
Different
something.
way of going.
Remember the list we did for the album was a vision
Yeah.
board as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like that materialized at least to 85 to 90%.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely do like weekly lists, like even just on some short-term stuff.
Yeah.
But that's more of like shit that has to get done or I want to get done. But
So
definitely you
mine
got to think.
like this.
Okay, there you go.
Oh wow.
Dude, 2020. This is my old one from last year. So business, personal. So you see the
Right.
gym, 4
Yeah.
days a week, go away, eat clean, buy your first property, furnish your crib. You see on this one, diamond deal,
Yeah.
drop 5 albums, update your publishing, things like that. So like I just to show you kind of like how it looks, maybe to motivate you or whoever's gonna watch the pod. It's like I need to see it. I'm a visual person, and that was one thing that I loved about writing rhymes versus writing rhymes on this. I used to love writing rhymes on in the notebook because when you can see it, I don't know, it's something about seeing it. You really visualize it a little bit more. But writing things down really helps me. I know everybody does it different. Like Kay said, like he could just have it in his head every day until he gets it done. I know a lot of people are like that, but me, I got to see it.
I'll tell you one thing, like mindset shifts. So I've been doing a lot of that personal development stuff over the last year and a half. And the common theme that I keep coming across is writing is probably one of the most effective ways to accomplish your goals if you're being consistent about it. So like you hear people talk about journaling, setting their intentions every day, like vision boards, all of that shit is basically the same thing, which is like you are trying to achieve something. And the only way you're going to get there is by you setting that target. If you don't have a goal in mind, you're not going to get anywhere. So you got to meaningfully chase the shit, but ultimately remind yourself on a daily, like, yo, this is where I'm headed. This is where I'm headed. And
It's
like
like
shit'll just happen.
It's like writing it as the beginning of the manifestation of it. And it's like making it solid somehow, right?
Because mentally speaking, like think about like experiences, right? Like your mind can't tell the difference between something you dreamt versus something that you actually experienced. It kind of treats it the same. Same thing with writing. So like it makes it real for your head. And then now everything kind of just conspires.
It's like a commitment. It's almost like committing to something.
Yeah.
But Kay wants to be the Biggie Smalls of vision board. He wants it in his head.
No, I'm down. I'm down with both of it. It's probably just being lazy and not doing the vision.
He's like, I don't need to write that shit. I can spit it right now.
It's ill.
It's ill in hip hop though. You see everybody's processes. You see everybody like how different dudes write rhymes or how different dudes make beats or even how cats DJ a live set. You see like how people's mind works, and it's really incredible how you can have kind of the same results from so many people, which is greatness, and totally different process.
Right.
So I don't hate on nobody's process. Everybody's process is different, but that's what works for me. The vision boards help a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely to each their own for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that people don't necessarily use that are out there, tools that you could use to enhance and help yourself to get to your goals, to accomplish your goals.
I'm gonna drop a gem right quick, and this might feel real like
That you go to the bathroom or something on us.
It might feel foo-foo to some people, but like I've been listening to a whole bunch of YouTube videos from a guy named Earl Nightingale.
Didn't you send us?
I did. I sent y'all. Yeah,
I listened. I listened to it. I listened to it.
Okay, so
I didn't listen yet.
Just on the mindset tip, like he just talks about a number of things, and he recorded these things, I don't know, sometime like in the 40s, 50s, but it holds true today. And it's a lot of stuff that we kind of alluded to here, stuff that Term is already doing, but really just shifting how you think and really just making shit happen and getting away from all the excuses that you kind of try to put in front of you to like stop your progress. So there's a lot of short videos. His name is Earl Nightingale, Nighthinggale on YouTube.
And this is your Theo?
I wish I would have been shit. I'm only catching up at 42. Imagine if that was my uncle. He was schooling me early.
I listened to the joint and he reminded me, I also follow I don't want to say the name wrong. Napoleon Hill, is it?
Yeah.
No, because I think of Napoleon Dynamite and I'm dyslexic. So I'll be fucking these names up. But yeah, think Rich and Grow Rich, right? Or is it how does it go, that book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Well, that book changed my life for sure. And it was ill because who was it that was on Drink Champs? Jay Prince said that he was like, me and him, we were like, yo, he was like, yeah, that book right there. So Term, I don't know if you ever checked that book out or this dude's writings, but it's ill stuff, and he gives you like just everything that all the successful, like he studied successful. And
that was like from back in the day, right?
Yeah. The Rockefellers or
right.
hired him. They paid him to study people that were successful across all kinds of things like sports, industry, different things. And they wanted him to find out what was the common thing that he found out about all these successful people. And then the dude went on to write a series of books.
Do you remember what the common thing was?
Dude, it's a whole bunch of shit in the book. It's a lot of shit, but I mean, it's really common sense shit once you start reading it. It's like give people more than they expect from you. It's like, one thing that stood out. I don't know.
I think a lot of it was like clear intention of what you want. Like
clear
you have
intention.
to know that you want to be successful or rich or whatever, right?
Right.
But one of the things that always sticks out to me, I don't know why it stays in my head, is the whole thing about sex. Like, it's like, don't let sex basically run you.
Yeah.
Your sex drive and how it ruins like opportunities and ruins, you reaching your goals. And he has like a whole chapter on sex. Like using sexual energy. I mean, Cuban Latinos, you know how we do, but
why are you doing all this though? Why you
doing? I'm just talking with my hands, bro. But it's ill. Like the whole thing is ill, and I learned a lot from it. And I read it, years ago, and it definitely helped me. I don't read books like that, so you already know how I get down, Manny. I think that's the only book I read in its entirety.
Really?
We'll talk more about those because there's a bunch of books that we could talk about in future episodes for sure.
Yeah.
None of your nasty porn books, bro.
No. I'll save that just for you, bro.
Book that changed my life that I still read over and over and over to this day is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Hell yeah.
Yep, I read that too.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Financial IQ, Cash Flow Quadrant. I have the audiobooks, and whenever I get like off track of what I'm doing, I put those books on and they help me so much because I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be paying attention and building these businesses and keeping my mind, like even like you were saying about the sex thing or, vacationing or just getting off the track, off path. One thing like to me is repetition, it's like what we were saying about what rich people or like successful people, what's one thing that they all have in common, I believe, is repetition. They do the same thing every day, which is just kill shit. Every day, kill it. As soon as you start deferring from the plan too much, you start falling off. So I think with me, those audio books, they help me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even though some of the information is now obsolete because some of them were even written in the 70s, but the overall basic idea of saving money, investing money, not working for your money, having your money work for you while you're sleeping, these are concepts that most of us didn't grow up having. Either A, we had poor parents who didn't know about money, or B, we had parents who were just working to live and pay the bills. But none of us grew up with no Bill Gates or no, we didn't have people that even had that type of mindset. And so something that I do with my kids is we do talk about that all the time. Like sometimes I'll bore them to death. I'll put the Robert Kiyosaki books on in the car when we go for a ride. And I'll ask them like, hey, do you know what this means? Do you know what that means? And just kind of drill it into their mind. Me and my youngest daughter, I always ask her, like, you know what an entrepreneur means? And, you know, after a few times, she started getting it. And I said, all right, kid, so, you know, how do you get rich? Making money while you sleep, you know? Well, how would you make money while you sleep? Investing, or maybe you have a company. So I kind of like give her examples. I say like, okay, you see, for instance, your grandmother, she needs to get up every day and go answer phone calls every day to get paid. But me, I'm sleeping. People are buying these while I'm sleeping. So I'm making money while I sleep. So you see what I'm trying to get in your mind is like sooner than later, make money, invest money on whatever it is, whether it's stocks or bonds or a company or whatever. So you can be making money while you're sleeping. So you, if you break your leg or you get sick, you're not just gonna lose everything because the money's still coming without you having to work for it. And so I kind of learned that through those books. I already knew it, but I kind of learned that through those books, and it really opened my eyes and helped me run my companies. And I'm trying to like pass that mentality onto my kids, so that way they're prepared. So that way by the time, you know, they're young adults, they have some investments going for them, and they have that mentality, and they're not just kind of making a bunch of money and blowing it and having nothing to show for it.
Just think how amazing it is that most schools don't teach any of this real world financial information.
It's
I
crazy.
mean, if they were teaching this kind of stuff at you know, in elementary school at an early age when these kids are sponges, imagine the head start they would have. I mean, you know, it's our job. We have to teach this stuff on, you know, at home on our own. But I mean, damn, they're in school for so many hours during the day, and like just some of this real world put it to use information is just left
Yeah,
off the table all the
fact that
time.
you can graduate high school and not even know anything about the stock market is crazy.
Yeah, or how to balance a checkbook, or how to
Open an account.
anything, how to do your taxes. You're thrown out into this world because, you know, I don't want to start with the conspiracy theories because I get deep with the conspiracy theories, but it's clearly by design that these kids don't learn finances, because if they keep you, you know, poor, or they keep you just with that mindset, then you're not going to go up and bridge the gap and take
Right.
from them. So
Yeah, wouldn't it make more sense to learn this kind of like early on instead of geometry? I
yeah,
mean, you can learn both, but I mean, I'm saying like, what's the practical applications?
No practical application.
You know what I'm saying?
bro, I'm 39. I've never used geometry one time in my entire life.
Yeah, like when my
Basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's it.
Right.
Bro, and now you got to calculate on your phone, chacho. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
You got to come on, bro. We got QuickBooks. You know, you can get QuickBooks now. Like you didn't.
You got
bro,
an app for everything. You just need to know what target, what you like. You need to
Yeah.
know about the industries. You need to know about what
Yeah.
you're using these apps for. And that's the problem. We're not teaching these kids, or we're not us. Obviously, we weren't taught either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I felt we would have everybody here would have been better off, would have been ahead of the game if we were taught these things. You know, we had to learn the old school hardcore way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like by fucking failing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically.
Get a good job, work hard, pay bills, die.
Yeah, basically.
Man, you know, it's like, damn. So I don't know. I like really want my kids to live their life. I'm always telling them, go live your life, have fun. You know, my daughter's 18 now. I'm like, please, before you have a baby, go see like 5 or 10 countries. Go see
Right.
something. Go see that the world is bigger
Travel
than
is important for
Mhm.
sure.
yeah.
For,
Go see the
for-
world. Like you'll open your mind up so much when you go travel the world. You'll see so much. And so I really tell, you know, the kids all the time, I'm constantly working on them as far as like getting their mind ready for the real world. And I don't remember if I touched on this last time because it was so long ago. It had to be about 3 years ago when we did the first interview. What episode y'all on now?
This is
200 and
202. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So 200 episodes ago. But one thing that I always tell them is like, okay, you have two things, large obstacles standing in your way. One, you're Latina. That's hard. Already off the rip. That's one thing. And when I'm talking about in a corporate setting. Two, you're a woman. So you're coming into this world, right? Let's say the head of the company is an old man. This guy don't want some little young Latina girl telling him what to do. You know what I'm saying? Being the boss, coming in, being the
Right.
boss. They're gonna make it hard for you. They're gonna make it hard for you. So you have to be double as sharp. You have to work double as hard. You have to be double as aware. And you can work your way up these ladders, and people are gonna put all these walls in front of you, and you're gonna knock them down. But don't come into life thinking everybody owes you stuff, because that's kind of like with this generation. They feel like everybody owes me. Everybody has to be all nice and respectful. Everybody don't owe you shit, and they don't have to do nothing for you.
Right.
They're gonna be fucking foul to you. So just be aware and be ready, be sharp, and be hungry, and be ready to go get it, because the whole world is out there for you. You can go get it. You just have to be dedicated and want it.
And on that note, gents,
That's the gem of the week right there. Let's just cut right now.
speaking of go and to get it, Term, let people know again where they can go get Good Dad Gang gear, the Ewings, and find you.
First of all, thanks for having me, man. I got mad love for all of y'all. Knew y'all for a long time. EFM, been doing freestyles for him since 2005.
Sir.
And K, that's my brother, Monster. You know how we do. But gooddadgang.com, you can get the gear. Go on there. The Instagram is at gooddadgang. Please submit pics, take pics, doing fun things with your family, wearing the clothes. We try to repost everybody. And if you want the sneaker, EwingAthletics.com. There's still a few pairs left. Go check that out. Thank you, my brothers. Appreciate y'all.
And you were on you were actually on my first release when I had Latchkey. You were on Domingo's album. That was our first Latchkey release back in 2006. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was your label, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Domingo. That was my father's name and my grandfather's name, and that's my middle name.
Yep.
Oh, dope.
Yo, thanks for sharing that info, man. We didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Manny, when we get off, text me the name of the dude again with the.
I got you.
I want to check him out.
You got
Watch out. Watch out when he texts you after that, though.
No. Cógelo suave.
Peace,
brother. Peace.
Bro.
Later.